Number 1, the snare within. You've been taught to look for enemies outside. You were told that danger wears another man's face. But Carl Jung knew the truth. The real trap is not out there. It's inside you. Your soul builds illusions and sells them as truth. It gives you comfort in weakness and calls it virtue. It convinces you that fear is morality and hesitation is wisdom. The mind whispers safety while it buries your hunger. That's how the trap begins. You become a prisoner of your own self-image. Polite, controlled, predictable. The more you suppress your darker instincts, the stronger they grow beneath the surface. Jung called it the shadow, the side of you that refuses to die. And Machiavelli would have laughed at your restraint. He knew that morality without power is suicide. The weak cling to peace because they've already surrendered. But those who see the shadow, those who stand face to face with it, become dangerous. Not because they're evil, but because they're whole. Inside the trap of the soul, your mind feeds on illusions of control. It rewards obedience with emptiness and calls it balance. But beneath that stillness, your chaos waits. It watches every compromise, every moment you silence your will, every lie you tell yourself to keep others comfortable, and one day it breaks free. When that happens, you either become a monster or you master one. The first step is to admit you are both the prisoner and the warden of your own psyche. There is no escape, only understanding, domination, and control. This is where power begins, when you stop chasing light and start mastering your darkness. Number 2, the machinery of control. You think you make your own choices. You don't. The psyche makes them for you long before reason catches up. Carl Jung understood that the mind is an empire, ruled not by reason, but by unseen forces pulling the strings. Fear, desire, guilt, approval. These are the hidden governors of your behavior. They tell you what to chase and what to avoid. They build your identity and then enslave you to it. Machiavelli would call it the perfect kingdom, a mind that governs itself through invisible chains. The rulers are your impulses, the ministers are your excuses, the guards are your emotions. You're not free, you're managed. And the worst part, you defend your prison because it feels familiar. People don't fear pain as much as they fear change. They worship routine even when it kills them. Jung's dark insight was simple. The psyche protects its illusions at all costs. It will make you suffer rather than let you evolve. Because evolution demands death, the death of who you think you are. That's why most people stay trapped in mediocrity. They confuse identity with integrity. They mistake comfort for peace. They don't realize that the soul feeds on conflict. It needs struggle to stay alive. But once you see the machinery, you can choose to seize the controls. Coldly, ruthlessly. You begin to think strategically about your emotions. You don't suppress them. You weaponize them. You turn fear into awareness, anger into direction, pain into discipline. That's how you escape the invisible monarchy of your psyche. Not by rebellion, but by quiet domination. To master yourself, you must learn to rule your inner state like a tyrant with absolute command. Control the machinery, and the world will bend before you. Number 3, the shadow's bargain. There comes a moment when your reflection stops lying to you. When you stare into your own eyes long enough, the masks begin to crack. That's when the shadow speaks. Carl Jung said it's the part of you that carries everything you've denied. Rage, lust, ambition, cruelty, hunger, power. You buried it because society told you to be good. But repression doesn't erase, it incubates. The shadow becomes sharper, colder, more cunning. It waits until you're weak, then whispers, deals in your ear. Serve me, it says, and I'll make you powerful. That's the bargain. You can't destroy your shadow, but you can negotiate with it. The weak fear this dialogue. The strong use it. Machiavelli would tell you, every ruler must keep a monster at his side, not to unleash it recklessly, but to remind him of what he's capable of. Your shadow is not your enemy, it's your arsenal. Every time you suppress it, you give your power to others. Every time you face it, you take it back. Integration is not peace, it's control through awareness. Jung never promised comfort, he promised wholeness. The shadow doesn't want you to be nice. It wants you to be real. But here's the danger. Those who play with the shadow without discipline are devoured by it. They become slaves to impulse. To master it, you must be colder than your darkness, stoic in your rage, strategic in your chaos. The bargain isn't about surrender, it's about alliance. You don't destroy the beast, you ride it through the fire. The day you stop pretending to be pure is the day you become formidable. Power doesn't come from denying your demons, it comes from commanding them like soldiers under your will. Number 4, the illusion of goodness. Most people don't want truth, they want validation. They call it goodness, but it's submission in disguise. Carl Jung warned that morality becomes a prison when it's used to hide weakness. The illusion of goodness is the sweetest poison of all. It makes you feel righteous while you decay inside. You act kind, not because you care, but because you fear rejection. You forgive, not because you are evolved, but because you lack the courage to confront. You stay silent to appear wise, but it's cowardice wearing a halo. The world rewards this behavior with applause, and slowly, your spirit dies under the weight of false virtue. Machiavelli would spit on this performance. He understood that power demands clarity, not moral theater. The lion does not apologize for its claws. To be truly good, you must first be capable of evil, and then choose not to use it. That's what Jung meant when he said, "No tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." The psyche must confront its own filth before it earns purity. But you, like most, have been taught to prune your instincts instead of mastering them. You've been told to be nice, as if niceness ever built empires or forged steel mines. The illusion of goodness is how the weak disarm the strong by convincing them that their power is sin. Don't fall for it. Be decent, but not docile. Be kind, but not compliant. Your morality should serve your strength, not strangle it. When you drop the need to appear good, you become unpredictable, and therefore untouchable. The world fears those who are capable of destruction, yet choose control. That's not evil, that's sovereignty. Number 5, the seduction of weakness. Weakness doesn't just exist, it seduces. It speaks in a soft voice, promising peace, acceptance, rest. It tells you to stop fighting, to be gentle with yourself, to go with the flow. But that voice isn't compassion, it's decay disguised as comfort. Carl Jung warned that the soul's greatest enemy is not darkness, but stagnation. The psyche loves balance so much that it will sell its potential just to avoid discomfort. And that's the tragedy. Men lose their fire not because they're defeated, but because they're soothed into mediocrity. Machiavelli understood this game. He wrote that softness is the first symptom of downfall. A man addicted to comfort will betray his own greatness to stay warm. Weakness is seductive because it pretends to be safety. It flatters your ego, saying, "You've done enough, rest now." But the truth is, the moment you stop challenging yourself, your mind begins to rot. The world doesn't crush you instantly. It erodes you silently. Day by day, the fire fades. You start negotiating with fear. You tell yourself stories to justify surrender. And soon you become a shadow of the man you could have been. Jung's dark insight, the unconscious feeds on your neglect. Every time you choose weakness, it grows bolder. It starts dictating your thoughts, controlling your emotions, steering your fate. But there's a cure, ruthless self-honesty. Admit where you've gone soft, where you've traded pain for passivity. Then sharpen yourself again, deliberately, like a blade returning to the forge. Power isn't inherited, it's maintained through constant tension. The seduction of weakness dies only when you love struggle more than comfort. The day you stop craving ease is the day you start commanding your destiny. Number 6, the mirror of power. Power doesn't reveal who you are. It exposes who you've been pretending not to be. Look into the mirror long enough and you'll see it. The predator behind your politeness, the strategist behind your smiles, the cold observer watching your emotions like pieces on a board. Carl Jung said the psyche mirrors itself through others, reflecting your denied nature in the faces you hate and the people you envy. Every irritation is a confession. Every judgment, a projection of your own shadow. The mirror shows the truth, that the traits you despise in others are the ones you've repressed in yourself. And here lies the opportunity. Machiavelli would tell you, study your enemies, for they reveal your potential. The people who intimidate you show you what you could become if you stopped apologizing. The ones who manipulate you teach you where your boundaries are weak. The mirror of power is ruthless. It spares no ego. It demands you dissect your envy and turn it into blueprint. You learn to admire what threatens you. You start adopting qualities you once condemned. You stop flinching at your own capacity for dominance. Because real mastery isn't about appearing humble, it's about being unshakable beneath humility. When you can look at your darkness without denial, no insult can wound you, no loss can paralyze you. You've already met your worst self and made peace with him. Power isn't arrogance, it's self-recognition. The man who accepts his total nature can never be controlled because he owes nothing to illusion. That's why the mirror is feared. It shows what comfort hides, that you were never meant to be harmless. You were meant to be in command. Number 7, the war of masks. Every society runs on masks, manners, titles, smiles, all disguises hiding raw intent. Carl Jung called this the persona, the false face you wear to survive among others. You build it to be accepted, but eventually it owns you. You start confusing approval with identity. You start acting instead of living. And soon you forget what your real face even looks like. Machiavelli would have called this theater essential, because deception is the currency of power. But he would also warn, the actor who forgets he's acting becomes the fool. The world isn't honest, it's strategic. Everyone's pretending, but the wise pretend consciously. They wear masks like armor, not like shackles. The weak wear theirs to please others. The strong wear theirs to manipulate perception. You don't show emotion, you deploy it. You don't express truth, you shape it to serve you. Jung's dark insight reminds us, every mask you wear adds a layer between you and your essence. Too many layers, and you lose yourself entirely. That's why the most dangerous man is the one who can remove his masks at will, who can be warm when it's useful and cold when it's required. Stoicism teaches control. Machiavellianism teaches adaptability. Blend both and you become untouchable. The war of masks is eternal. The crowd seeks conformity, but the sovereign mind uses performance as camouflage. Never forget. Authenticity doesn't mean exposure. It means mastery of illusion. Learn to shift forms without losing your core. When others act unconsciously, act deliberately. When they seek validation, seek leverage. The man who knows his own masks controls every interaction, every narrative, every room he walks into, because he alone knows what lies beneath, and that knowledge is absolute power. Number 8, the anatomy of detachment. Detachment is not coldness, it's control. It's the art of mastering emotion without murdering it. Carl Jung understood that attachment binds the psyche. Whatever you cling to owns you. The more you need something, validation, love, success, the more power it has to destroy you. Machiavelli would agree. Dependence is weakness, even in affection. Detachment isn't about isolation, it's about sovereignty. It's the difference between feeling deeply and being ruled by feeling. When you stop chasing people, they move toward your gravity. When you stop begging outcomes, reality bends toward your calm. The detached mind is feared because it cannot be manipulated. It listens without reacting, observes without absorbing. It bleeds only when it chooses. Most people think detachment means apathy. They're wrong. It's discipline under pressure. It's the power to stand still while others drown in emotion. Jung believed that only through detachment can one integrate the shadow, because you can't master what you're enslaved by. You must learn to step back from your own chaos and analyze it like a surgeon. That's psychological warfare, precision over passion. Detachment sharpens perception, and perception is the root of dominance. It turns love into strategy, pain into data, loss into clarity. The world belongs to those who can watch it burn and not flinch. But remember, true detachment is not the absence of empathy. It's the presence of power, You feel everything, but you let nothing own you. In a world where everyone is reactive, the man who stays composed becomes mythic. Cold, calculating calm, not dead but sovereign. That's not numbness. That's evolution. Number 9, the art of controlled chaos. Power isn't born in calm waters. It's forged in storms. Carl Jung saw the unconscious as a battlefield where order and chaos wrestle endlessly for the throne. Most people drown in that storm because they crave stability more than strength. But the wise, the Machiavellian mind, steps into chaos willingly, not to be consumed by it, but to command it. Controlled chaos is the art of weaponizing instability. When others panic, you calculate. When the world burns, you observe patterns in the flames. That's how empires are built while others scream. Jung's psychology and Machiavelli's politics both agree. Control isn't the absence of chaos, it's direction within it. The universe doesn't reward balance, it rewards adaptability. The man who can move through madness without losing his focus becomes unstoppable. The key is to stay anchored while everything else unravels. Your discipline is your gravity. Your calm is your sword. You don't fear uncertainty. You use it as camouflage. Let others chase calm seas. You'll thrive in the storm because chaos is honest. It reveals the true nature of everything. It shows who breaks, who begs, and who builds. Power, real power, comes from embracing volatility with precision. You become unpredictable yet deliberate, an enigma that no one can outthink. Jung believed that within every man lives a god and a beast. Controlled chaos is their union. You walk the razor's edge between destruction and creation, and every step refines your dominance. Remember this, a man who can function inside disorder without losing his rhythm is no longer human. He's inevitable. Number 10, the untouchable mind. There comes a point where you stop reacting and start reigning, where life's noise fades and your inner voice speaks with absolute authority. That is the untouchable mind, the state Carl Jung hinted at when he spoke of individuation, the full integration of the self. You've faced the shadow, stripped your illusions, embraced your chaos, and forged detachment into armor. You've learned that power isn't domination of others. It's domination of self. Machiavelli taught that rulers who cannot rule themselves eventually fall to their own appetites. Jung taught that those who deny their darkness are ruled by it. The untouchable mind is the fusion of both truths, complete awareness with complete discipline. You move like someone who owes no explanations. You love without dependence. You act without hesitation. You've seen what the soul's trap looks like: self-pity, emotional slavery, the illusion of virtue, and you've burned it all to ash. Now you walk through the same world as before, but nothing in it owns you. You've become the observer, not the pawn. The more chaos surrounds you, the calmer you become. Because you understand the secret, power isn't loud, it's silent, it's not dramatic, it's precise. You no longer chase peace because you are peace, sharpened by struggle and tempered by pain. The mind that once betrayed you now serves you like a loyal soldier. You are not seeking balance, you are balance. You've transcended the machinery, mastered the mass, tamed the shadow. That's the essence of Jung's dark insight, to walk into the soul's trap and emerge as its architect. Now, if this journey has awakened something in you, that quiet, ruthless clarity, then like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is only the beginning of your psychological evolution.